As punishment for being fat, my parents made me run cross country in middle school. For those of you that don't know, cross country is quite possibly the worst sport ever. It's a bunch of guys in short shorts all trying to see who can tolerate the most pain before they black out. And that's not an exaggeration. At championships one year, the second place finisher passed out after crossing the line and had to go to the hospital. It's really not a sport that any sane person would ever do. Lucky for you guys, however, I'm not exactly sane. So even after I stopped being a thick boy who had to wear husky everything, I kept running. Maybe it was a bit of Stockholm syndrome, where I had grown not just used to the pain, but even emotionally attached to it. Either way, in the course of running those 1,000 or so miles I have over the years, I've seen a few interesting things. Here's just one of those stories. My school is in a famous city. It's well known not for its landmarks or its historic importance, but rather for its incredibly high per capita murder rate. This is the result of mostly gang violence, and if you know anything about gangs, it's a good idea to not go into their territory. And even if you do go there for some reason, you had better be wearing the right colors. So naturally, our cross-country team decides that the best idea would be to run straight through an area right at the edge of gang territory wearing our school colors, which correspond perfectly to that of a rival gang. Their justification was that if we ran in groups, nobody would bother us. I don't see what difference 5 people or 1 person makes to an assault rifle, but I'm not an adult, so what do I know? Anyway, one day, 4 of us were going on an exceptionally long run, almost a mile further into the heart of the city than we normally ran. Just as we were nearing a deserted playground that marked the halfway point, a figure jumped out of the woods and started yelling at us. He was waving something around in his right hand, but we were far enough away that we couldn't tell what it was. Guessing that he probably wasn't going to invite us to his barbecue, I turned around and started going back to school. Just as I started to walk away, however, I heard the freshman in our group scream, "He's got a gun!" followed by a loud bang. In the years since that incident, I've never run as fast as I did that day. Even as I continue to train, I don't think I'll ever be able to match my performance. The 4 of us sprinted for our lives, zigzagging through alleyways, hopping fences, and even crossing 6 lanes of moving traffic, all of the time never stopping and constantly looking over our shoulder to see if this man was still following us. I later used Google Maps to check, and it turned out that I'd run that mile to safety in less than 5 minutes, a full 20 seconds faster than my fastest recorded time to this day. P.S. After we got back to school, nearly an hour after practice should have ended, we got pulled over by one of the varsity captains. He asked us why we were so late, and after hearing our story, started laughing uncontrollably. When he finally gathered enough breath to talk again, he explained that he was the guy who had popped out of the woods. He had seen us walking and decided that the best way to get us running again would be to scare us. He never really explained where the gunshot came from. He was waving his phone is what he had said. But apparently there was a woman at that time getting groceries out of her car, and the freshman had mistaken her slamming her car door for a gunshot. The moral of the story here is, don't trust freshmen.